welcome to the Tim and Jenn Show. My name is Tim Ryan. This is my amazing wife, Jennifer Jimenez.
Hi, you guys. I'm Jennifer Jimenez Ryan, babe.
Happy 2021.
Happy 2021. We made it alive. And for those of you who, I feel like weird. It's like a happy, like, yay, we made it, like chariots of fire. We crossed a finish line. And then I know that a lot of people have lost people recently, especially with this pandemic and our other pandemic happening. And to all who may be sick, we love you. We hope you have a speedy recovery. It'll be a better 2021.
It's gonna be, but even 2020, with everything that happened, we were talking last week or the week before, and I don't know who it was that said, I think your buddy Brandy. You and Brandy were talking.
Brandy Glanville and I did her podcast, and oh my God, we had the best time.
And we will be having Brandy on in the next 4 to 5 weeks, so look out for that. That will be a powerful episode. But she said it's like we've been married 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know if we were touching about this on this.
Because we got married New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary. Yep.
And we did celebrate. And we have Mackenzie here, Tim's 5.5-year-old. So it was great. Like we had family, and I mean family, like my mom, my brother, and that's it. And Mackenzie here. So we've been pretty much quarantining the whole entire time. And it was food. My brother's an excellent cook, like he should open his own restaurant. Like it's 5-star worth food. And one day we ate 8 hours worth of lobster, steak, it was just crazy. We ate and ate and ate. Today is my second day of fasting. It's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Tuesday.
But honey, we were talking about what it's like being married.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So Jennifer is still a long hauler with COVID and tends to forget things very quickly.
I have the gift of the gab too.
But we were talking about Brandy saying it's like we'd been married 10 years because of everything we had to experience. And you brought it up too, getting married on New Year's Eve, coming into last year, and we're going to do this and that, and everything got shut down, and us having COVID, yada, yada, yada. But I'm telling you,
we together, we lived together, we got COVID together, we got over COVID together, we isolated together, we got locked down together, we've been, trying to recreate together. Everything is together. And, it has been like 10 years.
Well, a lot of marriages,
I've never been married,
didn't make it.
But I know a lot, and we did, and I'm so grateful for that.
But the point I was making, Jen, it made me appreciate the love you have for me, and I thank you for that, and obviously my kids. But we truly built on our foundation to get to know each other, what agitates you, what doesn't. But it also made me look at so much shit just doesn't matter. So many things just don't matter.
Yeah, and I think getting over COVID and fearing the experiences, and yes, I talk about this a lot on our podcast. Fearing, I'm not going to live in fear. Like I'm nervous and I'm a little hesitant about certain things. I'm not in fear. There's a difference living in fear versus living cautiously.
Big difference.
And I got the opportunity to really reflect on what really matters. And I know that, we're all at different levels in our lives. Like, thank God all of us are never sick at the same time. And I mean that in any area possible, right? Whether you're struggling with wanting to lose weight or finance or alcoholism, addiction, mental health, thank God we're never at the same place. So what used to bother me years ago doesn't bother me anymore. And what bothers you, and I'll be like, oh babe, oh really? It's not a New York Times reporter writing, or something to the effect of something. And we're like, oh my God, reality check, Tim always makes me see
what's my saying?
It's better than prison.
Anything is, we had dinner last night with my brother-in-law, Dwight, and Mackenzie, and Jen had looked at Dwight and said, Tim's go-to line is, it's better than being in a prison cell. And for me, it is, because that was my bottom. But that's where I also found recovery.
But I have to like say something, like, even though I was in my own, prison, in my own head, in my own disease of of addiction, I never went to prison, babe. And so I can't equate
Right.
that. But like your examples, like we were talking about a Jolly Rancher last night, and like how like somebody had given you.
So it was of course, I've been to prison twice, and it was my first time in 08. And I was in Northern Illinois Receiving Center for 2 weeks, and then an 18-hour bus ride down to Southern Illinois because they make all these stops. And I was probably in Vienna prison a week, and I was out on, it wasn't really a yard. You had 2 buildings, and you could just kind of hang out with the guys in back. And one of the COs came out to one of the inmates and said, "Hey, pack up your stuff. You're getting transferred, or you're out of here." And the guy reached in his pocket, and he had a pocket full of Jolly Ranchers candy. And he said, "Hey man, do you want these?" And he gave me like 5 Jolly Ranchers. And I'm telling you, it was a blue one I had. That was the first one I ate. But you don't realize how precious that Jolly Rancher was to me at that exact moment. To have a piece of candy, to have my favorite flavor, but to have sugar and be like, wow, these are the things that all get taken away from you when you go to prison.
Yeah. And so like, it's so beautiful that you can always make it that simple. I mean, and it's a horrible reality
Right.
for, going to prison, but you got through it, and that's like the beauty of it all.
Yeah.
And yeah, I wrote down New Year's resolution on that note. I don't know if any of you guys have New Year's resolutions.
Not me.
As I was reflecting on things in life recently, I realized that I haven't had a New Year's resolution in a long time, and I'm so glad about that. However, I am fasting only because I was so I ate everything.
Indulgent
But I
eating.
ate everything. I have
good.
no cravings whatsoever left, and so like I kind of wanted to clean house a little bit. So I'm doing that. But I've been working out as well. And
every day.
Yeah, every day, and I've been working out. I'm starting to get definitions in my arms, and I'm definitely wearing a sweater that you can't see it.
How have you been working out? Cobra Kai.
We've been watching
binge watching Cobra Kai,
which is so cheesy.
It's awesome, though.
Oh my God, but it's great. Like I can't stop watching it. And like wanted to ask a couple of questions, like to you guys. Is anyone have a New Year's resolution? What is it? I don't, and I'm really happy about that. And maybe that's my New Year's resolution, but it has been for a few years. Also, what is there good out there to watch? We haven't watched. I mean,
I want to get away from spending time watching. In my opinion, I've watched too much, and I want Billions to come back.
I know.
And Queen of the
This
South.
sweater is making me really hot.
And the Chai.
Yeah, those
were really good.
So, okay. So what we did find out though, where we live, is that everybody's in the entertainment industry.
And they're all from Chicago.
A lot of them are from Chicago, a couple of them. And like, from directors to actors and all this stuff live in our area. And I was talking to one of our neighbors, and he's actually from Chicago. He's a director, and he's like, the industry is over. Like for him, he shoots commercial. He's a director, and he said, they're like now sending iPhones to the actors with props, and then the director will tell them where to prop it up, and the director will tell them what to do as they're filming commercials. And he's like, that part of the industry is pretty much over. Like big,
things are changing. Last week, Jen has an opportunity to do a few more movies, and they got put on hold. Then we're getting excited because the industry opened up again. And then last Thursday, Hollywood was shut down again. All filming is shut down.
Yeah, and like this cast, all 3 movies that I got are pretty amazing. Yeah. And like this one cast, it's like a lot of people that I have shot. A movie that I'm known for is a lot of. I don't want to say it yet because I don't want to. No,
oh,
I don't want to
say.
say
a movie you were known for.
I don't want to say it out loud. Like leave it alone. Don't answer.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Stop.
What are you talking about?
Let me finish. You cut me off all the time, but like you're totally blowing it for me now. Oh my God. So what I was going to say is I have the opportunity of doing this one movie with a lot of people that were in the movie that I was that I'm known for, but whatever. Don't answer it, babe. And we were talking to one of the producers of this the other day, and before New Year's or on New Year's Eve, and I just got really excited, and we got excited about the movie, and then again.
Oh, that's I wasn't even thinking of that. I was thinking of the other three.
Babe, you're so pretty.
Totally not even talking about.
So
I was
hot.
totally
Everybody
not
loves
even
it.
thinking about that one. Not even thinking about.
Wow.
Totally forgot about that one.
Yeah,
I
I'm
called
really
the other day with the individual.
Yeah, that one is a really.
That one went right over my head, but that's probably the most badass one.
I can't say that anyone is more badass because
Anyhow,
they're all different.
So you actually have 4 movies that you could.
Three movies and a pilot.
Yeah, if things were up and running. But anyhow, so back to
life.
No, I want to go back to New Year's resolutions because I don't do them because I always set myself up. And most people don't do them. They can't go 30 days. And my philosophy now is why wait till New Year's to start losing weight, get sober, work out, whatever it is. Why wait? Just start doing it now.
Well, why is it that, and if want to know if anyone else feels like this. So November 1st is your birthday, your sobriety birthday. Halloween, it goes Halloween, and then all of a sudden it's like your birthday and blink of eye, it's the new year, and I'm,
well, it goes
your birthday,
my birthday, then December.
No, then Thanksgiving.
Then it's my get out of prison birthday.
Yeah.
Then it's Christmas, then New Year's, then I was going to wait a little bit, but
then it's my sobriety birthday.
Yeah, which I want to.
Well, no, I don't want to get into it yet, but because
I'm the boss. No, you're the boss.
So I don't want to get into it yet because I want to talk about the fact that I got to have so much fun.
There's been a lot
with my BFF Brandy, Glanville, and I guess this is a good intro into that. But I did her podcast, and it was just, we have been through so much together.
How long have you and Brandy been friends?
Well, we like to say 20 plus years, but really like 30. I was in my teens.
Well, you guys have been best friends 30 years. And I don't think a lot of people know that or realize that.
I mean, she's my.
And I'm saying it. She was one of the people that was instrumental into getting you.
Yeah, her and my mom. And I gotta say, Brandy's always been Brandy. And it's like, great. Like but she was so worried. And, I mean, I put her through the ringer, but she got my Social Security and called, SAG as me and found out where I could go, and they sat me down. They were like, you can go to these places, but we can't want you to die anymore. And two people.
Well,
I always say, like, I don't know if I'd be here. I really don't know if I'd be here if it wasn't for those two people, but more importantly, my mom. I mean, my Brandy too, but like if it wasn't for my mother's prayers, I don't know. And everyone else who prayed for me when I was sick, I don't know if I'd be here. And I know that a lot of people reach out to us and they're like, what do I do? And it's like, you can't save anyone. You can't, if people don't want to get better, like there's very little that a lot of people can do,
I want to stop you there because you can't save anyone. And it really bothers me when I see people on social media, saved another one. No, you didn't. You're not saving anybody. I've never saved anyone in my life. I've done interventions. I've guided and directed people into treatment. I've given them phone numbers. I've sponsored people, but it's up to the individual. So I really wish people would quit saying I saved somebody.
Well, another thing that really gets to me personally, when people are like, why don't you save blah, blah, your friend or this friend? And I'm like, I feel like being like, fuck you. I can't save anyone. Like, I really can't. Like, I'm not God, and like in what I do behind what happens when you're watching this or listening to this is none of your fucking business.
Right.
So I just want to let you know that.
Well, and people need to understand.
And I'm sorry for sounding so like I'm attacking, but
the reason is you get a bunch of negative
not a
people.
Bunch,
but you get people sending you messages. But what people don't understand, there's a few people you don't try to help. And that's usually family members or dear friends. Those are the people I won't do interventions with. It doesn't work. I'm too close to them and you have to bring in outside people, but people don't know what they don't know either. And they only know a glimpse of a person's life through what they read or what they see. So Ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss. I'm kind of smirking right now because I'm thinking about like
you got a little Spitfire in you today.
I do. Well,
Yeah,
I'll tell you why.
you
Because
should see when she gets mad at me.
Ooh.
Ooh, arr.
Yeah. So like I found my voice. Recovery's taught me to find my voice. And recovery's taught me not to take myself so seriously either. And recovery has given me so many fucking gifts. But I was also out there lost.
For a long time. For a long time.
And there was a lot of people that loved me and protected me while I was sick and lost. But it didn't matter how lost I was, whether it be, you know, people always go, oh, what was your bottom? Like, bottom, bitch, I have like 50 more bottoms left in me. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I still have bottoms left in me. That's what people get very twisted. Like, my bottom is not about a financial bottom. It's not about like a job bottom. Like, it's not about, did I eat bottom? It's not anything like that. It's a spiritual bottom.
Thank you.
And that is, it doesn't matter how much money you have or don't have. That is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with someone who is spiritually broken. And not only just spiritually broken and shattered. And that's why tears come to my eyes, because I remember how broken and shattered I was. And I don't want to forget.
So you would have people say, oh, did you spend all your millions on cocaine? No, you spend it on the lifestyle. And yes, I spent a lot of money on heroin and cocaine and alcohol, but there's other variables. But I really like what you said, because I was comfortable hanging under Lower Wacker Drive with the homeless people. I was impressed the way Patch and Cecil and Mike set up this camp and lived under Lower Wacker Drive, and I was totally content there.
So,
but
let me take it somewhere else too, right? So, if you want to get really honest too, today I said, babe, 2 years ago, like we hadn't met, and so like I said, 2 years ago, if you would have met me, I would have been in Florida, in Delray, or wherever I was living, like in South Florida, like levitating, walking on water, going, no, like I was so in tune, in line. And like life, I had no idea where life was going, but I knew that I was okay.
What did you do? You went and had a date every day with
God at the beach, and Abraham Hicks, and who is the law of the universe. And like I was only listening, learning, absorbing. I was only around good people. Like I was also around a lot of people that weren't sober, and it wasn't that they were users, or they were just normies. And like I'd go do drum circle a lot, and I'd go do what is that yoga? What's it called? You're like in the air, and like you go on with people. Whatever yoga, I'll figure it out. I'll tell you about it. There's photos on my Instagram about it. But like we would just like do all this stuff. Like I was always around like just really people that had like
positive
great
energy.
Energy. And it changed and shifted my life to like get what I wanted to get. And like eventually it all came true. But I also in recovery have been spiritually broken. Wow, that's hard to say, but I'm saying it. Like there's been times where I call it, I don't know what's worse, someone who's dry and in recovery, or someone who's out there using. I've been both, and I don't want to ever get bitter. Like me, bitter is an ugly thing. It's really ugly, and it's not a cute look at all. And so I've been spiritually unfit at times, and so I have to realize that my program is not about how well I'm doing in the exterior world. It's how spiritual I'm doing in my own space,
Well, so you've been going on here for a minute. You got my head going. People have this misconception that if you're sober, that you're supposed to be this guru. I'm not fucking Gandhi. I'm not Chopra or all these people. I'm Tim Ryan, a guy that's over 8 years clean and sober, that has a solid foundation, that on a daily basis is trying to do the next right thing.
And you're learning and growing.
Yes, I learn, I grow, but don't ever put me on a pedestal. Don't put my wife on a pedestal. I see these people that want to get put on pedestals and just the shit that spews out of their mouth. And, I'm 4 years clean, but I drink every day. What?
Yeah. And then there's also people that want to put people on pedestals. And then there's those of you that like to like bash people. And what I think about you is that I just want to, you mean nothing to me. I just want you to know that. And you really don't. Like the more negativity, like if you don't like us, me, him, and you want to talk about us, or write about it, like I thank you. I thank you because you're making me more current and more important. And that's all that matters, because I don't know you and I don't care about you. Well, just know that. And I'm saying that because I think it's time for me to also show all my faces. And that's how I really feel. Like that's really how I feel.
It just bothers me that people.
But babe, life's way too
absolutely,
short.
and
so
I don't
have this long conversation about this, because what I want to talk about is that what I've been thinking and reflecting a lot about is 15 years ago. What
did
what
you
I
just
was
cut
doing.
me off?
Yeah, what I was doing. And like how I was living is what you asked me. I'm coming up on 15 years, and like these 2 weeks before were my darkest days, in the sense of I just wasn't getting high anymore.
So let me stop. Let me take over the interview here, and you just shut your mouth for a minute and cool down. You're all over the place.
No,
slow
I'm
down.
not.
We are coming up January 15th on Jennifer's 15-year clean and sober anniversary date. Not 5, not 10, 15. That is a huge, huge deal.
Thank you.
Huge deal. And if you haven't heard her story, you will. You can watch her TEDx talk. Jennifer Jimenez, Gimenez, TEDx Naperville. But you went from, hanging yourself in a psych ward to living on sofas of sponsors and people in recovery and doing everything Teresa, your sponsor, suggested. Making a list of 85 things that you want to do in life. You've accomplished 48 of those. Pretty good, aren't I? I remember things. But it's been a hell of a journey, and you've had ups and downs in recovery, but in coming up on 15 years, you've never had to pick up a drink or a drug.
Nope.
How did you do it? No, I
don't know yet, because I haven't gotten to 15 years. However, I know there are a lot of yesterdays put together, and I have some fucking badass tools, and I have great tools. I have amazing spiritual tools that were laid at my feet, and I am trying to apply them in all my affairs today. I went from not being able to walk or talk, and I had to be in Depends and in a wheelchair, to learning to form sentences again. And, knowing that my brain worked perfectly, nothing else did, was so crazy. And just not knowing what the future was going to bring to me, and one of the things that helped me and continues to help me is that the old timers always told me to just trust the process, and they picked me up. And I have to say this, my sponsor, Teresa, this guy, George, who no longer is alive, and Tom, and Las Encinas, my crew at my How Now meeting, those people, and the meetings at Crenshaw and 46th Street and 96th Street, and the people in my home group.
So let me ask you,
they loved me.
Let me ask you a question. How do you think it would be if you were getting sober this past year and you weren't able to go to those meetings, and everything would have been on Zoom and
hard? Although you spoke at one of my other home groups a couple weeks ago, and to see the group was 200 people in the morning, and I was like, my people. It felt so good to know. It's that same feeling I did about how I got sober this time around. And I was saying right now, Stretch and Linda, and people would come see me, people that there's so many people that in the beginning that literally carried me through. And now we're not allowed to lift up, carry through, and keep our, newcomers on here in the couch. You can't do that. There's a thing called COVID happening. And I was saying this last year, it's a hard thing for newcomers, for me. I can't even imagine trying to get sober last year. I couldn't even imagine that.
And kudos to all the people that have, or if you relapse, put your hand up, ask for help. But yeah, I mean, it's been difficult times, even for people in long-term recovery. We've known numbers of people that have relapsed, that have taken their lives, that have went back out there because they didn't have the two things, connection and purpose. And, I sit back and yes, you're my wife and my best friend and yada, 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 but I do learn a lot from you. And I don't tell you that a lot. But
No, you don't.
No, because I'm the man. No.
You are the man.
Male chauvinist pig. No, I'm not. I do learn a lot from you because you have 7+ years sobriety on me. And people don't understand that. I surrounded myself this time with people with 20, 30 years sober. That's who I hang out with. That's who I want to roll with because they have something I have. If I'm hanging out with,
they have something you don't
that
have?
I don't, they have something I want.
Mhm.
They have something I have.
Oh, okay.
No, they have something I want. Thank you. I don't know what happened there. But where do you see this year going for you? I mean, 15 years is a huge deal. But then you look at like your sponsor, Teresa, who has, now here's a funny story. We're pre-COVID, we're having dinner with Teresa, who's 30+ years sober at Swingers Restaurant. And Jen starts rattling off.
Okay, so it's better that I tell the story.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll cut in and tell the story and let you
Just
tell the
go
rest of
ahead.
the story. So
No.
I'm like, yeah, oh my God, sponsor. Like, I was trying to act like I was cool, like, and then it's her first time meeting Tim. So I had to act cooler for a second. And she was like, what? Like, and she's like, hold on a second. She still schools me. She's like, let's not get this twisted. I love when she says that. And she's like, I got 30 plus, you got 14. I want nothing you have, not a thing. And I was like, I love that. Like, and it's crazy because like, I totally, when I'm with her, I transform and I'm like, you're so right, sponsor. And I become me, like the real authentic me. Like, and it's easy. I can easily click right back into that, and not trying to over, compensate or have any of my defects come out.
Because people still want to wear masks.
Yeah.
People still want to wear masks. And, I want to portray this way and that. And,
it's a growing process, but you asked me where do I see my life going or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea. And guess what? I don't really care. Like, I mean, I'm literally jumping right now and I'm jumping and I know my parachute's working. And that's the difference. Because when they first asked me to jump and believe the net would catch, I jumped, and then I decided to do that at 5 years sober. And I jumped again. And like, they say your head pops out of your ass. But for me, they forgot to tell me that my life was going to start all over again.
Absolutely.
And I got, for the first 5 years of my life, I just want to let you guys know, I didn't go anywhere without somebody that wasn't sober with me, whether it be a loved one. Those people came too, that absolutely loved me unconditionally and would always protect me, or people that were sober and they do baby steps, and they pull me right back out. Now, wait. At 5 years sober, I realized that I got sober to have a full life. And I jumped, let go of the, last bad relationship. And I thought, and then I lived life and I went. And like, I was very safe and I had the tools. It took me 5, not 1, but 5 years to get them. And then after that, 7 was like the magical number year for me too. And I went to Florida on a photo shoot, changed my life. And then 10, I was about to like have a nervous breakdown and I really contemplated I was just going crazy. And I remember an old timer.
Well, you're going to say blowing your brains out.
Yeah. But like, I literally contemplated it for a minute, but like it was just a thought, but I was going to have a nervous breakdown. And I remember this guy, Paul, who's got like 40 years or so. He said to me, I was doing an interview with him and he was like, oh, are you like 9 years sober? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to turn 10 soon. And he's like, oh, honey, as long as you don't, blow your brains out or use, you'll be fine. I'm like, what? And I caught on and so I went back into therapy. I took 2 years off and I went back into therapy, deep, like intense therapy for 3 years. And then 13 was the magical number. And 13, I met you.
Amen.
Yeah. And life changed. And so it's been amazing and it's been tough too.
The thing that I like you.
Wait, can I finish that?
You take over the whole podcast, I guess.
No, I'll let you.
You're pretty good at that.
I love you. Wait, but so 15, like I know that I don't know what the future holds, but being sober, like you just never know where like the cards fall. I just know that they're going to fall magically because I'm going to create magic, and I believe in creating magic, and I believe in creating magic with you. So like, I'm good.
You're really big on the energies. You listen to a lot of Abraham Hicks and positive things, but things you can learn from. You know, that thing that Anthony Hopkins wrote. I posted it on Facebook. The thing on my page alone has been shared 750 times. And that's one of those things. But if you take the time to read it, son of a bitch, the guy's 45 years sober. He's got some bars of severe wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess at 8 years plus sober, I mean, I've got a lot to learn, and it's all a learning process. But the most important thing for me was getting out of toxic relationships. Huge. Cutting toxic people out of my life and thinking I need to stay for this reason or do that for this reason. And the best thing Jennifer has taught me is no. Nope, can't do that. Nope, I'm not doing that anymore. Nope, that's not my responsibility. And no, I can't save and rescue anybody. Nope, I can guide and direct. And guess what? I had some guy calling from Colombia the other night at 2:30 in the morning. I didn't take his call.
Unlike New Year's.
No, I messaged him the next morning and said, look, he had messaged me a month ago. I said, if you want help, you can call me, but don't ever call me at 2:30 in the morning. You know, 3 years ago, I would have been picking up that phone and, oh, what can I do? And forget all that. You know, I've got balance in my life today, and I know what's important.
Yeah. And I think that's like something that I love, the quality. I know it's one of the qualities I love about you. I mean, there's many things I love about you, but like the balance, the view of family and what's important, and finding your own true happiness. Like, I think that no matter what, if we can't find something to be happy, if I can't be happy with me, then I can't be happy with anything.
If you can't love yourself, how can you love anybody else? And you know what? It took you 5 years to get to a point to where you were solid. You had the foundation outside of just doing a meeting and sponsoring other people in therapy. You did what you need to do. You know, I see a therapist now. You see a therapist. Every other month we do a couples therapy session. It's great. And things are well, but we do it because we love each other so much. We want to make sure there's no.
It's funny because Tim was like, the night before we were going to do couples therapy, he was like,
why?
Is there a reason? And I was like, I think he was trying to get me to like he thought I was going to call him out on something. And I said, it's because I love you, babe. It's because I love you. And I want us to have the healthiest relationship out there and possible for us. And I want us to only better ourselves together. And there's nothing I want to like out you on. Like if I'm going to out him, I'm going to out him to his face. Like I'm just that person. We'll talk about it.
Yeah,
deal with
she's
it.
That person.
But like, and he was like, really, babe? And I said, yeah. And he's like, okay. And he trusted the process, and there was no ousting or anything like that. And it was powerful. It was one of the most powerful sessions I've ever had, you know? And
yeah, it was good. I want to talk more about this show and what this show is about. You know, this is a health and wellness show. It's not just a recovery show. We have a lot of people in recovery. We're going to have a lot of people that aren't in recovery, but it's about real talk and bettering yourself. And it could be losing weight. It could be exercise. It could be getting sober. It could be your mental health. There's so many other aspects in there.
Yeah. And it's all about all over wellness.
Absolutely.
You know? And
there's
like
actually 9 dimensions of wellness.
There is.
It could be financial wellness.
Even creative wellness. Like
Absolutely.
People don't realize that like you might be in a creative block. And you know, it's interesting to see so many people reach out right now and say, first of all, the encouragement that we're getting. I want to thank everyone. We get more, I'm like blown away by the positivity that we get.
Yeah.
Even on our anniversary, like it's so beautiful to see people like so encouraging. And especially during the holidays, when is like the worst time for people, you know, and this new world and era that we're living in, it's been like, I almost get too like, I'm too sensitive with all the energy of like social media and the
Well, I've
news
actually
and stuff.
talked about wanting to get rid of my Facebook page just because my true friends pick up the phone and call me. Yeah, it's nice to follow some people and see what they're doing, but business wise, yeah, I get some and I like to follow some things, but there's so much negativity out there too. I don't want to, I probably unfollowed 32 people today. And I'll give you an example. I see someone that's, in recovery and 2 years sober and they work in treatment, but then the things they're posting are just inappropriate. I'm like,
I don't even
unfriend,
go on,
unfollow. I don't
even though we're on right now.
I like Twitter. I like
Yeah.
LinkedIn. I love Twitter.
I go on a social media one, and I'm not going to say it because I don't want other people to jump on the bandwagon of it, but I like learning about I just like learning other things.
Well, I like LinkedIn because I've been on that through my professional career prior to being in the industry I'm in now. And there's a lot of knowledgeable people. I was reading an article on Elon Musk, and he said one of the biggest mistakes companies do is they hire people with MBAs, Master of Business Administration. And he said all they are is number crunchers, and they don't know the employees and they don't understand the company dynamics. And I could take that and flip that into this industry we're in. That's why so many people reach out to us. And if you want to get a hold of us, you can go to our website, dope2hope.com, or you can call us at 844-611-HOPE, 844-611-4673, or Jen at dope2hope.com or Tim at dope2hope.com. Because there's so many opportunities there with the knowledge that both of us have on interventions, on sober companions, on sober coaching, on treatment center options. And there's so many people out there that need help. They just don't know what's available. That's all we try to do is guide and direct to what's available. But I can tell you one thing we're doing is we're getting a hell of a lot more speaking events now. Okay. Fortunately and unfortunately, it's through technology, but it's expanding us to be able to do events in New York at 9 in the morning and it's noon there. We're having a lot of treatment centers reaching out. We're having a lot of sober livings. We're starting to book some big conventions again. So just throwing that out there. If you want Jennifer or myself or both of us, reach out to us and we'll
like this is the new world though,
yeah.
Guys. I just want to let you know I've been reading a lot on about this whole like people going back to work in office spaces. Very little going to go back to work to office spaces. Like this is the new normal. To see how like kids are growing up on YouTube, crazy. But
bring that, like Mackenzie, when she came out here, all the homework they have. And I was talking with my mom, and my mom said, why are they giving a kindergartner all this homework? She's in kindergarten, for crying. Let a kid be a kid. Just pile this on. I mean, kids are overwhelmed. And they're doing today.
I know one of the parents down the street were like talking about math and stuff and how they're doing it differently. And I know Adrian, my girlfriend who was on here, Adrian Janik, was talking about like being now a
homeschool teacher
when that's not what she does. And like how my girlfriend down the street was like telling us yesterday, from a distance, by the way, that she has to Google everything on how they subtract and do all this stuff.
It's like just to get to like way.
The number 8, and it was just crazy.
Well, how are people embracing this? The people that are listening, how are you? And we want to hear from you and know, because this gives us other topics to talk about. But how are you embracing coming into 2021 with all these changes? Because there's a lot of people that want to go back to the office.
I know, they're not going to be able to, though. That's the reality, is that they're not going to be able to go back. I think only 30% are going to be able to go back to the office. That's what's crazy, you guys. Like this stuff has changed. Like I always say to Tim, like, babe, that's not our vocabulary anymore.
But addiction doesn't sleep.
But mental addiction doesn't sleep. Yeah, I know. I mean, one of the people that we had been talking to is works in foster care, and she's like one of the top heads. And she was saying that a lot of kids are being born more than normal addicted. And that's like, I'm like, oh my God, the numbers on that, like just crazy. It's frightening.
But hold on. Then you'll have the zealots. They're not addicted. They're dependent. You're born dependent. You're not born addicted. Really? Then why is a little infant sitting there going like this, kicking opiates? But anyhow, don't get me going on another rant.
Yeah, no. Don't want to do that at all. I was talking to Tim, because we talk a lot. But I was saying to him the other day, 2 nights ago, I said, in an unedited world, that's what my sponsor says to me. What would you want to do? In an unedited world, who do you want to be? I ask you the question. And it's a really interesting question to ask yourself. And to really listen to that, like, who do you want to be? What do you want to do? What makes you happy? And it doesn't have to be with the money thing. It's
I would rather, I thought about that more. And just right now, what popped in my mind, I'd want to be living in the Florida Keys, running a charter fishing business, or have a thin crust Chicago style pizza restaurant in the Florida Keys, to where I'm by water. I can fish. I can go out in a motorboat. I can sail. I can scuba dive. I can go to the beach. I love South Florida. That's where, if I was down there, and I look at it, we're here because we toy with, do we go there full time? Do we stay here? We work remotely, basically. What do we do? But that's my happy place. That's where I'd like to be. What about you?
I love it in South Florida too.
Well, what would you want to be doing in an unedited world? What's it, 0?
Yeah.
Well, you got to talk. We're on a podcast here.
0, nothing, nada. I always say that. I say that, but I really don't mean it, because I would get bored. But and it's like, not like you can travel the world right now. I definitely think I'm going to be doing what I love to do. And that's writing a book this year. I want to write.
It's about
creativeness is my ass. I love, I love working with people. I love, speaking and doing what we do. I'm really grateful about that. But I want to write a book, and like you did, and
you've actually got 2 or 3 you could.
Well, I do, and I already have that in line. But I wanted to do a tell-all like a couple of years ago, and a lot of trauma came back. But people, my agent at the time, my book agent, was like, "Girl, you can't do a tell-all. Your whole career will go bye-bye. Like, you'll definitely be, blacklisted." And that was the same year that Me Too came out, and I was like, "Oh shit, man, I should have done it."
Should have done it.
But I wasn't ready, and I'm ready. I'm ready.
So what are you basically saying though? To people out there, don't do something because you feel you have to. Do what you want to. Do what makes you happy. You don't want to be, I'm 52 years old, and I've done some really, yes, I was in addiction and all that, but don't get it twisted. I had some great times. I've traveled this country. I've been in a number of different industries. I've met some really amazing people. Would it have been better if I sober? Hell yeah. But the past 8 years of my journey, sober, has been tremendous. The past 2 years of my life, I could write a book on how magical you coming into my life and everything that's happened now. But don't ever sell yourself short, because you don't want to be 70 or 80 or 90 sitting there going, I wish I would have done this.
I don't, yeah, no
Never,
regrets, no regrets at all. And like, I think this yet like 15 years for me is the no regret year of, like, I want to look at my life every day. And this is what they told me in early recovery, like, live your life today. Like, it was your last day. And also like the moments, and treat people as if they were in the ICU bed, and like, that's how I had to treat people that were sick. And that's how I had to treat people that were in my life that were toxic, and that are there were family members, friends, all this stuff. Like, I see, like, I had to treat, like, and I just want to celebrate. And I can honestly say, like, I've acted, and I can act until I'm 103. I could be the Betty White of the future, if that's where I want to. Like, I'm grateful that I have that. But I could say that, like, if this was the last day, like, I was in classic movies, like, that's awesome to say. Like, stuff. I'm so blessed. So, like, there is no, like, has been this or that. But also wait, I've also been the youngest girl on covers of magazines. Like, that's crazy. Like,
well,
it was just
talk about that for a
like
minute.
Elle and Vogue and Bazaar and blah, blah, blah. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, I've done every catwalk out there. Like, I've done so much. I've
You've
lived
been
such
in
a full
blockbuster movies.
I've been a supermodel. Like, I've been, you know, I've also, you know, worked in facilitated groups and spoke, and a magazine owner, and I mean, I've done so many things. I'm a writer. Like, it's like many things, and like, I know some of the stuff that that's about to happen for me. I got a couple of new things that are coming out, covers. I'm so excited. Like, in my 40s. What? And I'm really excited, but that's all I'm going to say about that.
So I want to so Jen was talking with me, and she said, honey, you need to understand something. You know, you came out of prison, 13 and a half months sober. You set up this nonprofit, these support groups. Then, you know, you're a guest of the State of the Union address. You have a documentary on A&E. You've wrote a book. You've been on all these TV shows and this. She goes, let the haters hate, because 99.9% of the people will never accomplish what you've accomplished in such a short amount of time. So sometimes I got to sit back and, yeah, that's all cool. That's not how I planned it. God opened the doors. I walked through them, but I'm also grateful for those experiences.
But I want to tell people, like, my sponsor always tells me this, like, she says this, what God gave me back is not for me. It wasn't my doing. The fact that I can walk, talk, and form some sentences is kind of a miracle. And he gave me that back to be of service to him.
Amen.
And for all of you out there, what you have, do not take for granted. You know, what the experiences you have, the things that you've overcome, the things that you are overcoming, and also the things that you haven't overcome yet. Don't take it for granted, you know, because these are all lessons that you can teach someone else, you know. What is it? Teach one, each one. Yeah,
each one, teach one.
And these are the things, like, when we're in honesty of where we're at in our lives, it's a beautiful thing. That is where you're most powerful at, you know, not being a victim, like, oh my God.
Stop being a victim.
Stop being a victim, like, or stop being like, I'm like this because of him or her, or I have.
Or this happened to me 30 years ago.
Yeah, or he did that, or she did that. Like, really, like, we can all live in victim conscious, but what I learned is that every time you're in a fight with someone or a discussion with someone, what you're fighting for is this victim conscious role. Like, the victim, you want to be the victim, not the victor. Like, the victor steps away, shuts up, doesn't say a word. What? So I'm not going to, sometimes I just step back, right? And like, if I'm fighting with him, I'm trying to fight for victim conscious. Like, I'm trying to be the victim, right? So.
And I'm the victor, and I walk away.
No, he doesn't. But it's okay. But the thing is, like, when you start growing up and you realize that you don't need to be the victim or be heard, look at me, and be loud. The quieter you are, the more you don't fight with crazy, because you can't fight crazy. You'll never win with crazy. You cannot fight crazy. Just want to let you know that. I've been crazy, and I've also fought with crazy, and I stopped fighting and I stopped being crazy. Unless I need to pull my earrings out and get ready and take care of and protect somebody. But otherwise, I don't have to play that role anymore. Like, what a blessing. You don't have to be a victim anymore.
God, no.
I don't have to be a victim anymore. I don't have to be in victim conscious role.
You know, it's funny you bring that up, because there was people that I kind of gave opportunities to up the road and would tag them along speaking, and all of a sudden they're up speaking and I used to shoot heroin and overdosed, and you never did heroin in your life, you know, or I was sexually abused. No, you weren't. But people want to say things to sound cool. Be authentic, be yourself. Everyone has a story to tell, but follow the path that you want to go down if you're doing the next right thing. And don't try to get to the end of the rainbow without putting in any work. You got to add all the colors to get to the end of the rainbow, because so many people want to come. It's like the person wants to come in, well, I want to be manager. No, you start out cleaning the bathrooms, then you become the fry chef. You work your way up, you pay your dues.
It's funny because Tim and I talk about that. It's not funny, but like, you know, a lot of people say we want to do what you guys do. And like when I tell Tim, like Tim doesn't know like the early years of me at all. You know, the first 5 years of recovery, the first 7 years, 8 years of recovery. He doesn't know that girl that was going to, you know, bring H&Is to treatment centers that didn't even have them, or go to like, you know, bad parts of the cities and stuff, and like, you know, be of service, be of service. That's all I did. Like all I did. All I did. My life was of service for fun and for free. And he doesn't sometimes, you know, the things that he goes through, I'm like, you know, that happened to me too. Like I was doing that. Like I don't need to drive 300 miles away to go do a meeting again for somebody, you know, every week.
Oh, and and I did it too. And people don't understand
like all the
work, work we put in. I mean, Christ,
and even in our relationship.
Yeah.
And then to put the work that we do in our relationship and the work that we do in ourselves, and that we both demand from each other. Like I want him to grow. I want him to be the best version of himself, only if that's what he wants to do. I want to be the best version of myself. And so like, it's great. You know, we have his 5.5-year-old, and it's like, it's so great to be able to see her happy with us.
Mackenzie loves you and adores you, and I thank you for loving her.
And you know, I love her because she's a child and she's innocent, and she's your daughter, and she is such a good girl. Like her heart is so pure. My mom always says it, like she's like a monkey on my mom. It's so cute. Like she's obsessed with my mom, but she, to see the purity of her, and like to see the relationship she has with my brother and my mom, and with you and with me. And like, she doesn't get to see us. She doesn't hear us fight.
No,
we don't fight, you know, like we do on occasion,
but you don't have
discussions, but not here with her, you know, and just her being celebrated and being able to be part of that has been a blessing. And I know, you know, she goes back to her mom's house, and like we encourage her to go there, and that, you know, she has 2 homes, and it's great to be able to just show her our best versions.
Absolutely.
Of ourselves.
And why? Because we have a solid foundation in recovery.
And like, for all those that may not have a solid foundation, you too can have a solid foundation. And for all of you that don't necessarily need to be in recovery, right, and are listening to us, we thank you. But we all are recovering from something.
Absolutely.
And we're all addicted to something at some time. And that's just the way it is. And to be able to embrace each other and celebrate each other. Like if you watch mine and Brandy's podcast, we were off our charts, right?
How can people find that?
On Brandy Glanville Unfiltered. And we are off our rockets. But like, if you see the dynamic, it's like, first of all, you don't know the details of our relationship, but you know that we're sisters, right? And we've been friends 30 years. And that we are so different, but it's funny, you know, like, and we're embracing each other in our true selves. So like, it was awesome. And I just encourage you to embrace everyone in your circle as who they are.
But change it too. If you have toxic people or people that bring you down, cut them out of your life. Start hanging around people that are going to support you. I mean, what's the analogy? You hang around with 6 millionaires, you're going to become a millionaire.
Or you'll go broke.
Yeah. You hang around 6 losers.
My story, true story.
You're definitely going to be a loser. You hang out with 6 people that are strong in recovery, you're going to be strong in recovery. You hang around 6 people that like to give back, you're going to give back. You're a product of the people you associate with. And if you don't like it, change it.
Yeah. And
simple as
we
that.
wanted to do our little intro of like our first intro of the new year.
Just us.
Next week, we're going to have a great guy come on, great guest. No, not going to say it yet.
Why?
Because you just never know. So I'm just going to say
who are some of the great guests we will probably have coming up?
Don't throw them out there. Don't throw them out there.
No one, huh?
I'm not throwing them out there. I'm not putting it out there. They
wow.
can listen. They can tune in. They can tune in.
Yeah, you can tune in. But we want your input. We want your feedback on the Tim and Jenn Show. We like to thank our sponsors that sponsor this show. Clean Cause Energy Drinks.
Thank you.
Hurt in Austin, Texas. I mean, 50% of their profits.
You should hear their conversations. They're hilarious. Them two are so funny. But you and all your friends are really funny.
Yeah. Rosecrans Treatment Center. largest center in the Midwest. We love you guys.
Love you.
But anyhow, again, you can send Jen an email, jen@dopetohope.com, tim@dopetohope.com. You can find us at dopetohope.com, or you can reach out at 844-611-4673. And guess what?
Jen Jimenez, or my Jen Dope to Hope. What is it?
Yeah.
What am I?
jen@dopetohope.com. We would like to thank you for tuning in to the Tim and Jenn Show.
Thank you, guys. We love you. Happy New Year.
15 years coming up. 15 years
Not
on
yet.
the 15th.
On the 15th.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Thank you, God.
Have an amazing day. Have a badass 2021.
Make the best of it. Love you.
Talk to you soon. Share this. Later. We want to talk to you about Clean Cause, better caffeine. What's in the can? Our organic, sparkling Herba Mate is a premium pick-me-up that won't let you down. Every can of Clean Cause contains 160 milligrams of better caffeine, and each sip supports recovery from alcohol and drug addiction. 50% of the profits go to assist people into sober living. Check out cleancause.com.
Seaside Palm Beach is an executive luxury addiction treatment center located in Palm Beach, Florida. Our private clients come from all over the world, including business executives, professional athletes, celebrities, and more. Seaside Palm Beach offers first-class amenities and high-end accommodations, including a gourmet culinary experience, ocean views, pet-friendly facilities, and access to cell phones and laptops during your stay. If you or a loved one are struggling with addiction, please call us at 877-959-5053. Again, that number is 877-959-5053.
Hope. At Rosecrans, it's more than a wish. Hope has power. As the proven behavioral health leader in the Midwest, no other program offers our depth of experience and hope here at Rosecrans. And when someone you love struggles with substance abuse and mental illness, hope plays an important part in recovery. Life's got bigger plans for you. We should know. We're the most trusted name in treatment and the best choice for those who dare to hope. Visit us at rosecrans.org. Life's waiting.
Now, glutathione is a big word, but it's the body's own master antioxidant. So it's a scavenger for free radicals, for bacteria, and what's relevant now, viruses. This is new to the marketplace. There's no other product on the market that has the ingredient NACET.
And basically NACET increases the production of that glutathione that is in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system and keep it strong. Elevated sense of well-being. Supports muscle strength and endurance. Cognitive function. Powerful liver support. Energy. Helps blood sugar regulation. Superior bioavailability of key ingredients.
One of your best defenses against COVID is a strong immune system. Taking GSH Plus as a daily supplement does all that. And now we have the product out on the marketplace.